Y'all know what it is. It's the Find the Boxer game. Purchase a box for a chance at winning $500. One of 54 boxes has a missing boxer inside. Purchase your box or boxes by Cash Apping $ usual 50/50. Include your box number, name, and email address. Your box number will be confirmed and sent directly to your email. Each box is $20 with a 1 in 54 chance of winning. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LDBC meet and greet in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LDBC, and remember,
it's a usual suspect day.
Y'all know what it is. It's the usual suspect 650-50 draw. Buy your tickets now for your chance at winning half the pot. Cash App, $ usual 50/50. Tickets are on sale for $10 for one, $20 for 3 tickets, and $50 for 10 tickets. Put your desired amount, name or alias, as well as your email address, and your tickets will be set. We announce the winning ticket numbers every other Friday on Supreme Beats Boxing Talk Bullshitting on the Beltway, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Remaining proceeds will go directly to the LDBC meet and greet in Las Vegas. Shout out to the LDBC, and remember,
it's a usual suspect day.
Push the weight and now flex. Flex alive is more than the 6. With the runner boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I'm an 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon. Motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight, baby. Oh, it's time to bleed this morning. It's beautiful Friday morning. Weather's changing. Hope everyone is doing well. Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Let's do this roll call. I got some things I gotta say. Before I actually get to the topic. $1 Trillion Dream, salute to you, man. I appreciate that. I put in work, man. Let me tell you about my thumbnails. Since StreamYard, and big shout out to StreamYard. If you're a content creator, I recommend in my description box, you can go through them. StreamYard has gotten better over the years. They're listening to us when we say that there's certain things to make our live streams look more entertaining and more creative. They allow us to do certain things now, and I do my my memes, do the thumbnails and stuff. Look, man, when you're a content creator, it's a form of art. That's why people are so sensitive about their work. Even if when they think people are copying off of them, it's enraging because we put in a lot of work, man. Just yesterday, my brother Junior the Truth brought something to the family's attention, and I said, I'll be damned. Somebody hijacked an idea he had. Excuse me, allergies. And it's annoying. It's annoying when you work hard. It's just annoying. But sometimes it's only so much you can do. So you know what I mean. So it is what it is, man. But I work hard, man. Like this thumbnail, this meme took me about 10 minutes to do. And as I'm doing it in real time, I start getting ideas. And I'm saying I can add this. I thought about 30 other different things I could have added to this, but I said, look, let me just, because it's late. Let me just do this and get to bed, man. It's crazy, man. But I appreciate, you noticing, I work hard at this, man. I appreciate you. Thank you. Dirt Gang Boss, salute. Rick Blackwell. Tay, good morning. Mark Hairston, Eric H., Chilltown. Coach Hudson in the building. Salute, man. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, bro. Go subscribe to our brother, Coach Hudson. He's always cooking, man. This guy, he's gonna be doing a lot of special things on YouTube, man. I'm telling you. You know, my brother. Acondo, my brother. Salute. How you feel? Eric Jordan in the building. Salute. HMC, what's going on? Felix Nunez, always supporting. Salute, man. Rod Nail, my brother. Brooklyn born. Joe Townsend, salute. Before I get to the topic, something was brought to my attention. It's a dude that y'all know I don't fool with. Gary, what up, man? All right, I'm not gonna wait till more people get in the building. I'm just gonna go ahead and say what happened. A lot of y'all don't know, cause I don't fool with this fool. This dude KQKC. Y'all know I don't fool with him. Y'all know why I don't fool with him. He's a turncoat. He's not real. All right. He's a fraud. He's a grifter. And you know, when I do say somebody by name, you know, it's the straw that broke the camel's back. And I told y'all when the straw broke the camel's back. The reality is, he was Just Spark, salute. He's the second person to be removed from the LDBC. Stormy, salute. The second person. And it was all within reason. I already spoke about this at least a dozen times already. All right. And I told y'all what y'all don't know is I stopped fooling with that dude 1 year before all of you found out. And I kept it to myself. Me and Stormy, we all kept, because you know what? We don't like being messy. We're like, you know what? Just leave and, you know, do your own thing and go your own way and, you know, and left him alone. I just stopped dealing with him. Y'all didn't even know. I just stopped dealing with him because I said, you know, what he's doing is dangerous. I said that, right? I said that. Do y'all remember me telling you when I had that conversation with him? I said, look, brother, you know, people, you know, they can have their own opinions and everything else, but you have people wrenched up in your chat that have legitimately, it's okay not to like us, but some of these guys you got in your chat got entire live streams on their channels about us getting personal information and all kinds of like weird stuff lying on us. And some of these cats have threatened our lives. And I told them, I said, yo, this is what they're doing. Her whole ass dude got Malacoon, the goddamn Afro Smurf, in his chat with a wrench. No, I'm sorry, he didn't have a wrench at first. And when I went to his comment section, I saw it, and I went to his chat, I saw him, and I blocked him. Then another wrench unblocked him. And then I texted him, I said, bro, why does he have a wrench? I mean, why is he in your chat bigging you up? And some fool in his comment section was like, oh, you know, people can say what they need to say. I said, no, not him. So when I spoke to him on the phone, I explained that to him. I said, I'm not blocking him because he don't support a fighter we support. No, this dude has gone out of his way to disrespect us personally. The entire LDBC, shots at me, shots at BF, shots at 78. It was personal with him. So you giving him the runway to do that on your what's going on, bro? He's violated your LDBC fam. And I told you, what did he say to me? The LDBC don't fuck with me. I said, excuse me? They don't fuck with me. Huh? Let me be very clear. The entire reason that dude even broke 1,000 subs was because of us. And yes, that was back when Fanon was with us. We all helped. Y'all remember OG Boxing Talk? Sundays? Y'all remember that? Me, Fanon, KQ, and Blood Boxing. Remember that? Blood was already monetized. He was already established. Fanon already broke 1,000. He was established. It was me and KQ coming up. I'm behind the scenes talking with Fanon, playing in shows, showing up early. He put me on his morning shows. Fine. This dude on Sunday mornings falling asleep on the air. How's that for professionalism? Tell me I'm lying. For those of you that go back that far. I show everything in respect to everybody on here. And when I said that to him, he said the LDBC don't F with him. I said, really? So I said it again to make sure he could reiterate. I gave him an opportunity to clean it up. He didn't clean it up. He stood 10 toes down on it. You feel me? And Stormy B, man, witnessed the entire conversation. Because I had him on my phone through the StreamYard. I just called him because that was bothering me. It was on a Sunday. And when he said that, I said, all right, man. All right, man. So the LDBC don't F with you. You got people wrenched up in your chat. Wrenched up in your chat that have death threatened us. That do videos about us. So they can do that in your chat? Those are the people you want to hang around? And you just said the LDBC don't F with you? Okay. So when we got off the phone, I said, Stormy, I can't deal with this dude. I told 78, I said, this is what happened. And I said, look, I'm not dealing with him. I didn't do no live streams. Y'all didn't even know. You know when y'all found out? When he snaked BFTB. That's when y'all found out. That's when y'all found out. I already was not dealing with him for a year. Y'all didn't even know it. I didn't say anything. I didn't drag him. Nothing. Shout out to fool-ass Earthman in that super chat.
You fool-ass Earthman.
Salute to you, brother. Thank you for the support. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I stopped fooling with him. I didn't drag him. I just quietly left. You know why? What do I always say? Sometimes you don't have to lift a finger. I ain't got to do no lives and start talking crazy and do a marathon stream saying his government name. I ain't got to do all of that. I'm like, you know what? Guys like that, you know what happens? They always get found out. They always get found out. Well, a year later, he snaked BFTB. Now, this is the part where y'all pretty much knew. He snaked BFTB, snaked him. And then I didn't even know that he bought that brother a computer. BF brought him a computer and everything. I didn't know that. I said, oh my God, man. Snaked him. And now he running around with the ops and everything else. And I'm like, you know what? I told y'all. Well, you know what? I didn't tell y'all about this dude. But once he did that, I told 78, I said, bro, you can't ignore this right now. He said, yep, that's it. Done. And he was removed. And we still ain't do no marathon streams about him. No, we just let him go. Go ahead and do your thing, you old fool. Now, why am I talking about this morning before I get to my topic? Why am I talking about this? You never stop learning. And you got to be an excellent judge of character. And it's tough, man. Even I'm almost 50, y'all. And there's still things in life that I'm figuring out. I don't know everything. But I love to learn. Comes a point in time when you reach a certain age, you got to be beyond certain things. Right? And if you're a little older than me, I can look up to you because I feel, whatever amount of years you got over me, I want to know about it. I want to learn. And I'm still learning about people's character because I learn from people younger than me. I'm older than 78. I think I'm older than Black. I'm older than BFTB. Hell, I listen to the Usual Suspects. I learn every day. I'm older than all those brothers. I don't have a problem saying I don't know everything. I don't have a problem with that. But it's a letdown when I see a dude older than me behaving like that. And it left me salty to saying, yo, man, I can't believe that brother said that to me, man. I can't believe that brother feels that way about the LDBC. We helped him, man. I can't believe that. Well, it is what it is. You learn every day. And the fact that I left him alone and he did that, that was frustrating. He ain't the only one. There's a few niggas on YouTube that I had to leave alone that I thought I was cool with. And then next thing you know, here it comes. I'm like, what the hell did I do to him? A few people. And I'm like, man, this is ridiculous. 99% of them were black. One dude was white. And I'm like, man, what the hell? The fact that I got to make a monkey video. Y'all laugh at it, but it pains me that I had to do it. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, something was brought to my attention. I ain't going to hide no names. Tay Jones hit me up, right? And he said, yo, did you see KC talk to Brian Norman Sr.? I said, no, I don't fool with that dude, KQ. You know that because of what y'all went through. And again, that shit that they went through, he called me up crying over Tay Jones. Let me talk about that for a minute. Because I'm telling you, there's reasons why I stopped fooling with that dude. Dude did a whole video talking about something that Tay said. And said it was fraudulent and everything else, and he's putting out fake information. And I was listening to it. This is before I gave him the axe. I'm listening to it like, what did Tay say? And he's on there just saying, oh no, that was false. And then he was on his live stream for maybe about 15, 20 minutes. And then he dropped the name. He said, oh, well, Keon, and then because Keon said this or that, I didn't even know Keon was listening. Like, no one knew I was listening. And then Keon got in the chat and said, I didn't say that. And I read that. I said, oh, shit, Keon's here. He said, I didn't say that. Oh, he didn't say that. He didn't even backtrack what he said. He didn't. He almost threw Keon under the bus because what he was alleging, he tried to say he got from Keon. Keon said, I didn't say that. I said, okay. Well, later on that day, I got a call from Tay Jones. He said, yo, what he talking about? I said, Tay, I don't know. He said, all right, well, you know what I'm finna do. I said, hey, man, go ahead. Tay got on his live stream and obliterated him. He said, this is what I said. I stand on what I said. I forgot what they were talking about. But he said, this is what I said. I stand on what I said. Here's the proof. And stop being an old fool. Because KQ was very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. And he said, you acting like a little bitch. And you know what? I think this was Father's Day. A couple of years ago. This was Father's Day. I'm going to the gym because I want to get my workout in before my family take me to dinner. My phone rings. Why he calling me a bitch? He called me a bitch. I'm from Chicago. Why I ain't no bitch? And I'm like, whoa, calm down. Calm down. Listen, man. I heard your live. You dragged him. It was unnecessary and disrespectful, bro. So when you put stuff out like that, you gotta be ready for the clapback, man. I ain't no bitch. I say, yo, how about this? Why did you run to your live stream? You could have contacted him. You could have called me like you're calling him now. I mean, you could have called me like you're calling me now. And if you were confused about something he said, you could have called me and I could have conference called y'all and you could have asked him. But no, you could put Tay Jones' name in your title, drag him by name for clicks and views rather than come to an understanding about what's being said. You're doing that for money, man. You're doing that for money. And here's how I know he was. When I said, why don't you just call me, and I could have three-wayed the call in, and you could have asked him a question. I said, this is clicks and views. Well, here's your clicks and views now. Because maybe there's about 100 people that don't know who you are that's going to find you now. I told him that shit. And I said, man, what are you doing? You attacked our brother. You know why? Because he also has a problem with Deontay Wilder. That's why he did it. That's why he did it. And I said, well, you had to make a decision. You can't have it all. You sound like a modern woman. You want a dude that looks like The Rock with a beard that makes The Rock's money, but you want to be the only one. He has to be only into you. Meanwhile, you're 5'2" and you're 412 pounds with 5 kids from 5 different men. You can't have it all. You got to make a decision. You got to make a decision. You decided to go live and drag the brother. He clapped back at you and you calling me crying. Why? Now you call him on the phone. I said, don't do that. No, I'm from Chicago. You call him on the phone. I ain't no bitch. I said, don't do that, man. Nah. He was amped over the phone. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you the truth. He was super thug over the phone. I said, all right, man. Now I'm in the gym. I got to the treadmill and I'm pissed off now. And I said, you know what? I said, I'm gonna call him. Yeah, you call him. He was super thug. I clicked over. I called Tay. I said, Tay, you busy right now, bro? He said, I'm about to go in this restaurant with my wife and my daughter. What's up? I said, bro, listen, I got KQ on the other line. And I said, I'm telling you right now, he's animated right now. So you ain't got to do this. You know, I know you out. It's Father's Day. You out with your family. You ain't got to. I'm just letting you know. You know, he said, no. Put him through. I said, you sure? He said, put him through. I said, all right, man. So I hit the button. My phone says conference. I said, we all here? Tay's like, yeah. Tay's ready. So I'm like, KQ, you there? Yeah. I said, well, here's Tay. He said, Tay? Tay says, yeah. He says, I ain't got no beef with you, man. Whoa! What? Nigga, what? Now, it's not like I want beef, but I'm like, yo, you was I'm trying to get my workout on in peace. You was demanding me call this dude. And now you come? Man, I was so annoyed. I didn't say anything. They patched it up. Tay told him, yo, look, I was raised to respect my elders. You know, I accept your apology. It's all good. Blah, 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 blah. And I didn't agitate the situation. I said, but I was upset because it was 10 minutes of this nigga screaming at me. Call him. I'm like, oh, come on. I said, bro, could you calm down? Nah, I'm from Chicago. I'm like, oh my God, stop this, man. And then when you do get on the phone with him, I ain't got no beef with you. What? I said, bro, you know what, man? All right. So he hung up the phone. I said, Tay, I'm just letting you know his energy wasn't like that. Sorry to bother you. Enjoy your Father's Day dinner. You know, I was upset. My workout was flat. But I said, this dude gotta go. But I kept it meek. I didn't say anything. I wasn't sneak dissing or nothing. I didn't say anything. And then he did that. Oh, wait, hold on. Later on that day, yeah, KBG, exactly. Please don't disturb my workout with BS. I was annoyed. So later on, now I'm going home, you know, take a shower, get dressed, because I'm going out with my family. It's him again. I'm like, what's going on, bro? Yeah, Drew, why ain't he take his video down? I said, what are you talking about? Yeah, you know, the video, he called me a bitch, it's still up. I said, hold on. I sat down at my computer, went to his channel. I said, dude, your video is still up with him, you talking crazy about him and his information. Yeah, but you know, we said it was squashed. Ain't no problem no more. I said, okay, well, your video's up. His video's up. Both y'all making money. The shit works out. Why are you crying? Well, I just figured he'd take it down. I said, what, you want me to call him back? Now, I just figured, he'd take it down. I said, well, yours is up. Yours is up, his is up. What you want me to do? I said, bro, listen, I'm about to go sit down with my family, man. I'll talk to you later. And that was the last phone call we had until the phone call where he said the LDBC don't fool with him. Then 1 year later, that thing happened with BFTB and him. And that was the last straw. That was the last straw. So why am I talking about this? And salute to Eric Jordan in that super chat. He said KQ was mad that Miguel didn't bukkake him. Oh, obviously, this motherfucker. That's probably it.
Bukkake.
So now, why am I bringing it up this morning? Tay Jones hit me up yesterday. Was like, Brian Norman Sr. was on the show. I said I wouldn't know, because I don't fool with that dude. He said, you got to go see that shit. I said, well, what happened? He said KQ did a whole interview with him. Everything was fine. Brian Norman Sr. leaves, right? Somebody in KQ's chat egged him on, right? These are his friends, right? These are his friends. And saying, talk, salute, brother. All right, let me hit you up. These are his friends now. And let me point this out. These are his friends. Remember when I told you, Andrew 100, salute. Now, if I miss you in the chat, know that I love you. Joe, what up, Joe? Good to see you. Remember when in that conversation, I said to him, yo, bro, the dudes you have, they're more loyal to you. They're worth more to you. Like a $5, $2 super chat is worth more than your LDBC fam. The LDBC don't fuck with me. I said, oh, okay. All right. And that's when it dawned on me. I said, man, how many super chats he sent me? 0. How many he sent Fanon? 0. Somebody told me he sent a super chat to somebody recently. I said, why? You know why? Because somebody probably told his dumb ass. Drew Titan said, you don't be sending those super chats. He hasn't. He hasn't. He never sent one to 78, to BF, to me, to Stormy, to Fanon. Nobody. I've never seen his name with it. He'll show up and promote his channel in your chat, but he never done it. Never. So I'm cool on that. I stopped dealing with him. Now, Brian Norman Sr. left the chat. He left the interview. Everything was peace. Somebody in his chat says, yo, you were supposed to press him about that boot situation. And then this dude gets to talking. Yeah, I was gonna press him, and what you hear me say language is important, right? You've heard me say that. Language is important. Yeah, I was gonna press him, but he talked and he started doing his hands like when people talk too much, doing his hand like that. He was like, I was gonna press him, but he talked a lot. He yap, like Bill Haney, he talked. Now, for him to compare Brian Norman Sr. to Bill Haney, that's disrespect. And Brian might not know this, but KQ don't fool with Bill Haney. He don't like Devin Haney. So I'm listening to this like, oh shit, where'd that come from? They were doing so well. TC the Christ, it's good to see you, brother. He said, speaking of super chat, salute fam. Salute to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Good to see you. And I'm like, yo, complete 180. Complete 180. And I'm looking at it, I said, yo. But you know what people don't know? That's who he is. That's who he is. Whoever he was talking to in that chat, what he was supposed to tell dude was like, yo, look, he's a guest. This is how I run my show or whatever. You're supposed to keep your chat in line. Keep your chat in line. And I'm going to tell you something else he did that's eye-opening. Now the 86 in that super chat, he said, salute Drew and salute to the mighty LDBC. Salute to you, brother. Whoever was in his chat, this is our live streams. We run it here. Don't ever in your life tell me what I was supposed to do. Keep that in line. I don't give a damn if you give me a $500 super chat. This is my show. Whatever I do here is within reason, it's for a reason. But when Brian left, he disrespected him. And I'm listening to this like, yo. I said, you see this shit, man? Well, as he's talking, Brian Norman pulled right back up. He goes, yeah, you know, he's like Bill Haney. He just wouldn't stop talking. It was very disrespectful. So Brian clicked the link again. He said, oh, there go Brian right there. So he clicked and put him back on the show. And he said, you motherfucker. He cussed him out. He was like, yo, you motherfucker. He said, man, I'm smart. I'm glad I'm smarter than the average bear. You mother. He cussed him out. Man, mother F this, mother F that. I said, oh, what? And then KQ said, no, I didn't say it. No, I never said. He was like, what do you mean you didn't say it? I heard you. I'm like, wow. Wow. He said, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck you too. And he's sitting there like with that stupid smile on his face. He was embarrassed. And you know what? And salute to Sid Mark in that super chat myself. He said, salute, Drew. Respect, brother. Respect to you. Thank you so much. And I said, you know what, man? People are now, and I read the comment section of the video. And there are people that really F with KQKC that told them, yo, you wrong, bro, for that. You wrong for that. I read 2 comments and they were like, yo, bro, you wrong for that. But you know what I'm saying? I said, you know what? They're now seeing what I already knew. What me and Stormy already knew. What BF already knew. What 78 already knew. And you're seeing why he's not with us no more. Because we don't act like that. We don't behave like that. That was disrespectful and very unprofessional. Why would you treat him like that? That dude gave you his time. And I saw him on the Sister Showers live just yesterday. And he says, yo, if I'm not dealing with you, if I don't know you, I'm really not dealing with you. So he pretty much messed it up for people that are really wanting to talk to him and support him or whatever and just get some information from him. He fucked it up for them. He fucked it up for them. You see that? So when I say something like this, is why I have trust issues. This is why people have trust issues. The 10-8 in that super chat. Good morning, family. Salute to you, good brother. Thank you. This is the shit I'm talking about. Now y'all see it. Now I had nothing to do with it. I didn't even know that happened. And look. You see what I mean? You see what I mean about that guy? You see? That's what I'm talking about. He's not the victim. He's an asshole. I told y'all. I'm just looking at it like, yo, you see that? You see that right there? And I'm gonna tell you something else. Now, I said, yo, you got people in your chat that has given us death threats, that have done live streams about us. And your response was the LDBC don't F with you after you formed the United Front and helped you get monetized and everything else, supported you. You ain't gotta like me. You ain't gotta like Stormy. You ain't gotta like anybody. But why'd you do that to BFTB, man? Why would you say that? Now let me tell you. Like I told you he had people in the chat that did that, right? Let me bring something else to y'all attention. And I'm just gonna say what happened. I'm watching the interview, and Brian Norman Sr. said something about KO. Knockout boxing 86, yes. Now, I know he got little dick watches, and this is not his fault, but people that like to agitate situations like to run back and tell people misinformation. So I'm going to be very clear when I say this. Because I'm not talking about KO. I'm talking about what Brian Norman said. Whatever happened between him and KO, I know they got into a little spat a few months ago. You know, I heard about it. I don't know what it was over really. It ain't had nothing to do with me. I was just listening like, oh, okay. I know they got into a little spat and people laughed at it, whatever. I had nothing to do with it. But I did hear him say that he had a problem with KO and, you know, it may get physical. That's what he said. And I said, oh, shit. I didn't know it was that serious. Fine, okay. It ain't got nothing to do with me. You want to know why I'm pointing that out? You want to know why I'm pointing that out? And I need you to pay attention. He said what he said. I don't know what's up with that. It ain't got nothing to do with me. All right? But he said it to KQKC. Isn't KO his man? I'm going to ask y'all again. Isn't KO KQKC's boy? Is it registering yet? That's your boy? Okay, so Brian Norman said what he said. At no point did he say, well, you know, Brian, Knockout's my friend. Please relax. That's my buddy now. I don't know what happened. He didn't even try to diffuse anything. He didn't. He didn't. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. That's right. And my antennas went up. I said, wow. You didn't even try and stand in the pocket for your boy. You didn't even try and diffuse it and say, hey, man, I don't know what happened. Whoa, y'all can't patch this up? We brothers. You can't, I don't know. Whoa, please, Brian, I don't know what happened with y'all. Please, not here, please. I don't know what happened. Hey, man, I'll talk to you behind the scenes, brother. You didn't even do that. You know why? Because when the brother left, you were snaking him. And then he pulled back up on you. So ain't no talking to him to patch shit up behind the scenes. You blew it. But I found it interesting. I said, man, I know that they still have some kind of relationship. Why didn't you try to diffuse it? Why didn't you just stop him? Okay. Oh, that's my boy. I don't know what y'all got going on, but please, not here, brother. Please. You didn't even do that. You let him say he was going to put hands on Knockout on your goddamn panel. You didn't even try to, bro, do y'all understand what I'm saying here? And to the D blowers, I'm going to run back and say whatever. Riddle me this. Are you going to let somebody say they're going to put hands on somebody you cool with on your platform without you saying something? I'm not saying to be super thug because you know that he's not. But say something, bro. Say something. He didn't do it. Just like when I said, bro, you know, you got people in your chat that is out now giving us death threats. You know, people could say they have the freedom to say what they want on my channel. I said, yo, they've threatened your LDBC fam. The LDBC don't fuck with me. That's what he said. That's what he said. I said, okay. So this may be KQ's viral moment. The end part of that damn interview, the end part of that show was like 2 days ago. And it was funny, but you know what? It's everything that I said he was. It's everything that I said he was. That dude is a coward. He's a gopher. He's a grifter. He don't know shit. Falling asleep on the airwaves. And people clowning him and jumping in my Instagram. I had to make it private. A part of that was because of him. The other part was because I got stalkers, male stalkers. Look at your uncle falling asleep. I said, that ain't my uncle. Fell asleep while calling the fight. I'm calling his phone. You hear me calling him on his phone ringing on his live stream. Yo, KQ, wake up. Missed 3 rounds of a fight. I'm like, man, look at this, man. Go to bed, dude. If you can't do it, you can't do it. And now Brian Norman Sr. has trust issues because of this fool, because of what he did. And he pretty much, he had a bad feeling about him. And that's why he went on the live after he left and they caught him talking shit about him as soon as he left. Couldn't even do it to his face. You know he fraud. He done badmouth KO. And he didn't even say, yo, Brian, chill. He didn't even do that. So I tell y'all gotta monitor your surroundings. You gotta recognize who's around you. Need to be real careful around dudes like that. If you're traveling and you with a group of friends or whatever, and you come up on a Fugazi area, you gotta know who's gonna thump with you. It's like, you know what? There's 3 of us, but this mofo right here, he can't fight for shit. We're gonna have to run. Cause he's the liability. You ever had that one friend, y'all all be talking about something, and then he woke up, you gotta change the conversation because he a snitch? The girl y'all talking about, you know he gonna go back and tell her? That dude. He's that dude. I laughed when I saw it, but I said, this is frustrating. Brian Norman is doing right by his son. Here we go. Another father-son duo. He's doing right by his son, and they're trying to drag him unjustly. Now, I haven't spoken about it, but now I got to start. Because they're setting up to do that shit to him now. And all I hear is, oh, these father-son boxing duos need to go away. Shut up. Do you mean Vasily Lomachenko and his dad? Because you know his dad is in his camp, right? Robert Garcia? I mean, not Robert Garcia. What about Ryan Garcia and his dad? Now, one time did they say they need to go away? I heard it saying about Jack and Shane Mosley, Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Sr., Brian Norman Jr. and Sr. now, Roy Jones and his dad. I heard it all. You guys need to stop, man. Absolute turncoat, absolute coward. And I'm glad he doubled back and heard him say it. And now people are like, oh man, why would he do that? I'm telling you, I knew for 2 years how that dude was. Now you see. Now you see. And that's why we don't deal with him. He's a coward. He's not real. And when he said that about knockout and he didn't check him, my antennas went up like, whoa, he's not going to say anything. He's not even going to try to tell Brian, yo, chill, you know, that's my boy. I don't know what y'all got going on. He didn't say anything. He didn't say anything. Now, I know. Some may hear that and be like, well, he don't need nobody to speak. Oh, he don't. But you ever heard it's the thought that counts? Or are these just sayings to you guys? Nobody is going to come on my platform and badmouth anyone I'm cool with. Nobody. Nobody could come on my panel and say, hey, man, you know, I fucks with you, but that dude's 78. Nope, you're out of here. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're out of here. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. If you fam, you fam. Don't even think about it. Don't do that. And that's the term, Copper, character. That dude has no character at all. None. Seriously, we weren't bullying that dude. We carried that dude. Yes, I said it. We protected that dude. People always talked about him. Crazy. We showed him genuine love. So when he said that to me over the phone, I said, I can't believe this dude, man. All right, and y'all had no idea for a year. I didn't say anything. And y'all found out anyway. Thank you, Darius. What he did to BF was because I didn't even know about any of that until BF said something. That's between them. I didn't know that. Then he dragged BF over Bill Haney. Seriously, dude? He went far. He went far. I was like, oh, shit. And then BF saying, yo, after I bought you a computer and showed you genuine love and you crying to me because your computer broke and how you gonna make money to send to your kids, bought him a laptop or whatever he did and mailed it to him. You get online doing that. You know what he did to Blue Blood? He was on the phone with Blue Blood for at least an hour. Blue Blood giving him gems on how to grow his channel. The next day turned right around and did a video about him. About what? Him having some fake information, which was bullshit. And you know what? Blue didn't say anything. He told us, he's like, yo, what is this? I went to the video. I said, well, y'all starting to see now. I didn't say anything. I said, look at this. He's out of control. And you know what he was doing? He was sniffing our nuts, shouting out LDBC, but hey, I'm my own man. I don't think like everybody else. I don't think like them. He was trying to grab that other audience. All the people over there that fucks with you, that hate on us, that goes but so far. Because contrary to popular belief, we get more love than hate. So I'm glad that happened with Brian Norman. Enjoy your viral moment. Marion, since we're using government names, you was exposed to be an old fool. Dummy.
You fool-ass earth man.
Idiot. Why would you do that? So when I say is a $5 super chat worth you turning your back on people? It's not about that. Yes, it was. You always talk about money. I'm trying to talk to him about the integrity of the people in his chat or lack thereof. He was on the phone trying to ask me how much money I make a month. I didn't want to talk about that. I said, dude, why you... I was like, yo, why are you talking to me about how much money I make? I don't care. I still got to go to work tomorrow. The fuck? Quality over quantity. You may as well go walk the blade in Chicago somewhere. Somebody will pick you up. There's creeps out here. Go and sell your tail, dude. There's people out here looking to destroy us because they hate themselves. My God. I'm talking about you got some dangerous cats, you know, ops in your chat. And you ask me how much money I make a month. I was like, yo, come on, bro. What's wrong with you? Cedric in that super chat, much love. He said, you see a person's true colors when you're no longer beneficial to their life. That guy is ungrateful. Completely ungrateful. Completely ungrateful. Completely. And anybody who finds this live, in the first 50 minutes I've been running my mouth. Because I'm going to get to the, I'm going to open up the panel. Anybody who thought you landed a Brian Norman interview and for some reason he just not talking to you, where you were talking to him at first and now, because he told Shawa, if I don't know you, I ain't talking to you. I'm letting you know where that came from. It came from KQKC Boxing Network. What it do? What it do? It came from him. Because he stabbed him in the back. In real time. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, man. What kind of person he is? Again, when Brian said he had whatever problem, I don't know what's going on, whatever problem he had with Knockout 86, he said he was literally going to put hands on him. And KQ said nothing in Knockout's defense. He didn't even try to defuse it. He just smiled and let it rock. I said, oh my God, man. Oh my God. Not going to say anything to protect your brother, man. What's up? What happened? Coward, man. That's ridiculous. But that's consistent to what we said he was, what I said he was. Told you. Just give it a while. You'll see it. But that was worth being said. Man, whatever, man. That video's finna do 10,000 views, not because he has anything important to bring to the table, but for what Brian Norman Sr. did. And I salute that brother for pulling back up on him and exposing his stupid ass. Clown. It's ridiculous. I'm finna reach out to the brother. Now I gotta be careful about what I say because now he done dealt with that fool. And all I want to do is help promote him and his son. Now I gotta, be very careful about what I say. Well, I ain't never got because I'm never disrespectful like that. Stupid. That dude been out of pocket for at least 2 years. Told you. Dudes got to find out on their own. He said, yeah, he kept talking. He's a lot like Bill Haney. He just kept talking. I was like, oh, man. It's funny, but it's sad. But anyway, on to my topic. But if y'all didn't know, that's what that was. That's what that's about. Now I don't give a fuck who run back and tell what with misinformation. Come back and watch this live stream for the first 53 minutes and see exactly what I said. Because if you're a content creator, I don't give a fuck. If you think I said something, you better quote me. Hey, Drew, man, I heard you said this and that about me. Where did I say it? Well, I heard you say, don't tell me what you heard. Tell me what you saw. Go to the live stream and timestamp it. Come back to me and let's talk. If you ain't doing that, don't get the fuck out my DMs. Y'all have no idea how many people had to apologize. Oh, yo, my bad, Joe. Because somebody said, and then I say, well, who told you that? Well, I don't want to start no trouble. Okay, yeah, so now the nigga that told you, you see more value in that motherfucker words. But you see he almost put you some shit. You had no idea. Don't come to me with something that I said and you're not going to tell me who your source is. Because if you see that source as credible and they're lying to you because I pointed you in the direction of what I really said, then you need to check your source. Y'all don't know what check the fruit on the tree really means? Your man's a troublemaker. There's something I'm doing that he can't stand and he wants me gone, hook or by crook. And he's willing to lie to you. So he has no real loyalty to you. He just want to put you in some shit. If it means my demise and you're a goddamn casualty of his personal war, then he'll throw you under a goddamn tank because you're gonna get ran over. Check the fruit on the tree. Check your associations. Because the reality is nobody should be dealing with KQKC. Nobody, especially after what he did to BFTB. I had no idea he did that to my brother. None. Everybody that was cool with him should have looked at that and said, yo, you know what? You really did that shit to him? Man, all right. Trust. That dude is a snake. That behavior like that has gotten more people killed than a little bit. Jesus was off because of Judas. Motherfuckers, are y'all paying attention? And Jesus being who he was, when he figured out what was going on, he looked Judas in the face and said, do what you must. Because it was already done. I don't want niggas like that around me. So all you dumbasses that get a goddamn DM, Drew was talking about, pull up, nigga. Because you got to say what I said. With that being said, Turki out of Sheik destroying the old way of boxing, and y'all mad. Who wants to come up here and tell me how bad Turki out of Sheik is? Or you can come up and tell me how good he is. Click the link. Bad or good for boxing? Now let me be very clear. The jury's still out on him. And being that I know what boxing is, everything's fine now. But, it's boxing. I know at some point he's going to do something that's going to piss me off. I know that. For some of you, it was Carlos Adames versus Shiraz. I thought Adames won the fight. But he went into his corner and said, Shiraz, you down 2 rounds. Oh, he can't do that. Hey, he can't. But he did it. Holler at me when the FBI invades his place of business. Go on, holler at me. You'll be assimilated. Y'all mad at that? Okay. Be mad. I think so far, the good is outweighing the bad. The good is outweighing the bad. I'm getting what I want. You know what he did? He got all these sanctioning bodies and all these companies to sing We Are the World. He got them to do Hands Across America. And they love it. My brother KBGJ, salute, brother.
Man, salute, Drew, man. How you been doing?
Man, I'm working hard and hardly working.
At the same time, ain't it?
Smarter, not harder.
Hey, that's a fact. That's a fact. But I don't know if Turki good or bad, but I know some of his moves is necessary.
Yeah, that's what I'm on. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, man, it's necessary, man. Like this wild, wild west of boxing, man. Somebody got to reel it in. Like we can't just have this chaos in boxing, man. It's crazy because it's been like that since the beginning of time. Yep.
Now,
if they don't want Turki to implement his plan, they got to come up with a better plan.
And do we see a better plan?
Nope.
Exactly.
We don't even see a plan.
We don't see anything.
Crazy.
we don't see anything. You see what it is?
Yep.
We've been conditioned. And I put it in the description. I'm gonna read to you what I put in the description. Fans have been conditioned now that there is an organized effort to increase the better increase better competition amongst fighters. We are finding that there is a huge difference between supporters of the sport and fanatics that are infatuated with individuals. So far, Turki is exposing the difference. So that's what I want to talk about this morning.
Yeah, man. Drew, it's so crazy because that's like I don't like to really get on politics, but politics is sort of similar to boxing because boxing got its own politics.
Yes.
But that's like when the women were mad at black men for not voting for Kamala. But most black men did vote, but they were mad at the black men that didn't vote for Kamala, but Kamala didn't lay out any policies.
The same amount of black men, I'm sorry to cut you off, but the same amount of black men that voted Democrat was the same exact amount of black men that voted Democrat this time around. That shit was not black men's fault.
And I knew it, Drew. That's why I laughed at it. But even though they mad, it's funny because Kamala never laid out any plans. That's similar to the people that want Turki to get out of boxing, but nobody else laying out any plans or policies.
Turki got more things done in boxing in 2 years than boxing did in the last 15. And I swear to
and I
God,
want
let me
to
look it up.
Whoa.
no interrupting you, Drew, but I want to touch on one more thing before I let you go.
Mhm.
All right, when Turkey reigned in Golden Boy and the Zone, right? You see who came behind them and created a conglomerate. When they said specifically, like PBC and Top Rank, they said no crossing of the streets. But now they're coming together to create a conglomerate. So I don't know if Turkey bad or good, but he necessary.
Exactly. He's a necessary quote unquote evil, as they say. It's necessary because we're getting things. He's getting things done at a rapid rate. Now I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know if it's going to be perfect. Nothing is perfect, but we have to rejoice in what we're doing now. Right now, we're getting
Yes.
results, and I don't know how long this is going to last. It could disappear tomorrow. I don't know, but he's getting more done. Like I said, the numbers. I'm inflating the numbers, but he's gotten more done in 24 months than boxing has gotten it done on its own in the last 15 years. BVO, salute, brother.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good this morning. I'm doing good.
Good. Good. I say this, man. Salute to my brother Drew. Salute to my other guy on the panel. But I say this, man. It's funny how when somebody not black does something, it's okay. But when my brother from Cleveland did it, he's the devil. He's ruining boxing. He going broke every year. I mean, they did the same shit to Don. There's always something better than the black man. So I think it's just laughable. They accept Turkey, but won't accept Uncle Al, who's promoting Michael Jackson, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, anybody you can name, he's promoted. Bobby Brown. I mean, but y'all want to call him going broke every year. But Turkey come with a few dollars. Okay, it goes back to show it's never good enough when a black man does it. That's all.
It's more than a few dollars. I'm giving Al Heyman. I've stood in the pocket for Al Heyman for over a decade, especially when he came for boxing. I protected his integrity on here. The man don't do no interviews, and the sole thing why he was being attacked was because he was so successful and he was black, and there was every important fighter was running over to him because he had a different business model, the back end money, and it worked for its time. The thing is, with that being said, Al also wasn't perfect, but with that being said, there's no way to compete with what Turkey brings financially, and that's the key right there. Al has done great things for boxing. I'm not going to say he's bad. There were some things that I had to question. There are, but I did stand in the pocket and protect his integrity. But his business model has become outdated since Turkey has gotten into boxing, because Turkey's coming with real money up front, where Al Heyman could say, I'm gonna pay you $5 up front, and when we count every nickel and dime and every soda sold and popcorn, all of that sold, you can end up with 50 million. Turkey's saying, well, I could come to you with 40 million and your back end money could be 50 or 60. He's coming with the money up front. You can't compete with that. So with respect to Al Heyman, I don't drag Al Heyman. I've actually protected Al Heyman for over a decade. I protected him, Broner, Floyd, every black fighter that you could think of that's gotten dragged. The thing with Al Heyman with me was how he fell asleep at the wheel and didn't put people in charge for quality control about who they let in to speak on their behalf. After Wilder was robbed by Fury in the second fight, when I came home and saw Larry Merchant on the couch, that pissed me off. And I said, well, who the fuck is asleep at the wheel at the PBC? That guy shouldn't be talking on our behalf, because let's not kid ourselves. We supported Al Heyman because he's black. We protected him because he's black. Those racist emails and everything, all we wanted Al to do was be more aware about who he allowed around him. You know what I'm saying? It was out of control. And that was my problem, but I still look past all of that. You know what I mean? And as we are to date, we protected his integrity against Rick Glasser and everything else. But to date, the only thing is his business model is now outdated because of Turkey Al Sheikh and his money power. That's it. But salute to Al. Al did his thing, man. He really did.
Speaking of that, when it come to Al, because the cool thing is I've actually got to see Al because he still lives in Cleveland. The thing about Al is people get mad at him for entrusting the guys that he put in position to manage. Mistakes gonna happen on something that big. People didn't know Larry Merchant used to talk bad about Sonny Liston. He used to call Sonny Liston everything but a child of God in the 60s. So it's just one of them things where I think Al is supposed to be Superman, or as people call it, he got to be super nigga when it comes to. But I will say this: it is good to see that he's not getting vilified as much as Don King did, because Don actually stole from people. Al got Mexican dudes naming their kids after him. So he is a whole different type of
That's
thing.
a true story, y'all.
I just say this.
Leo Santa Cruz named his son Al.
Yeah.
That's a true story.
And this is my final point. I just think no matter how you slice it, like my man said, Turkey is a necessary evil. But at the end of the day, when he goes away, I think what Al has is more sustainable. That's my only thing.
I got you, brother. I got you. Coach Hudson, my brother in the building. Salute.
Man, salute, brother Drew. Everybody on the panel. Man, peace to the family and smoke to the enemies always. This is what I got to say about it, man. I tell them like this: don't get scared now, because a year and a half ago, people said that Turkey wasn't gonna be able to do nothing. They said that Turkey wasn't gonna be no problem. They said that, you know, the old way of things was already in the headlock. I had a guy tell me last week, you know, Al Heyman got this thing in a vice grip already. Well, clearly, brother, you don't know what's going on. And right now, you know, Brian Norman Sr., he said something yesterday. I was on the Queen Shawash channel watching the interview. And he when you look at something a little different, he said, you know, a lot of the disrespect that he's seen on YouTube to trainers, to coaches, even the fighters, he realizes that it's boxing fans that are living vicariously through promoters, and through other fighters. So, you know, I have a term. I always speak about the COINTELPRO boxing fan, but it's deeper than that. I realize that we also have parasites among us. And if you know anything about parasites, man, it's hard to get them out of certain things. So I want you all to think about a piece of pork. You're not going to see the parasite in pork unless you pour something that's really acidic on it to see the parasites come on out. And I look at some of these channels and I see some of the haters in the chats, and they act like they agree with us at first. And brother Drew, you and I were having a conversation with a brother yesterday who was saying that, hey, you know, I'm a Devin Haney fan, but then when we asked him about Tank, that hate that he got for Devin started coming out. And I really don't care what nobody got to say or really feel about that. What I'm telling you all is, as soon as you start bringing truth into the equation, those parasites start coming up. How a person really feels starts coming up. And what we have to understand also is all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
That's right.
There are people that come among us that talk like they down with real boxing and they want the best challenges. But as soon as you hit that right nerve, as soon as you pour a little bit of that acidic truth on them, they start shaking. They start getting out their bag. They start calling in and yelling and screaming. And it's like, well, brother, what you so emotional for? I thought that you were a fan of real boxing. Why are you upset? Because I want to see the best fights happen. Are you a boxing fan, or are you an idol worshiper of men? And me, personally, I'm not about to idolize one fighter over the sport of boxing. Ain't nobody bigger than the program over here. Turkey has put on more good fights and at least tried to make them happen in the last 2 years than we have seen in a long time. Now, that's not an opinion. Those are facts. We had on one card at one point, we had Shakur, we had Bivol, we had Virgil Ortiz. We had all that on one card. Now, I can't remember a card like that really, I can't remember a card like that ever with that many heavy hitters on one card. So, you know, until he showed me something bad, I'm not going against that. But some of these guys, man, and one of my mentors told me, he's like, hey, man, look, coach, I know you love boxing. But when you're talking to some of these fans on YouTube, you have to also be careful that you're not participating in the clown show, because when you are arguing with a clown, the person from the outside eventually don't realize who the clown is, because you are in the atmosphere.
Stormy said exactly that. Swear to God. Yup.
The sensei, shout out to the sensei. Yep. So you sitting there in the atmosphere of somebody that's a fool, and from somebody that don't know you or I, you realize, man, it's just entertainment. So, you know, and it's cool for views, but some of these guys, they just want views. And we're in a very strange generation. We have brothers who are bringing on predators, people who are booty warriors in prison, and they're getting views off of them on TikTok. Like it's a very strange time that we're in. So right now you're dealing with fans who are excited about the changes that are happening in boxing, but you have them other fans who they realize once people are forced to fight the best, the fantasy is over. Their man crush is going to be exposed he's going to be exposed to see, is he really who he is, or has he been a fake this whole time? And I'm at the point now, man, we can't give a damn what they think or what they say. We can't give a damn about it, because you know the book speaks about a person who is double-tongued and double-minded. Don't come amongst me.
Preach, brother. Go ahead.
Don't come amongst me and say one thing and you really mean another. I have a lot more respect for a racist who lets me know they don't like me because I know how to treat them. But I can't stand somebody who comes amongst us and acts like they are a friend. And as far as the sport of boxing, I don't want you beside me acting like you my friend, and the whole time you are the one that will be a traitor to the whole people. You know, don't come to me and say, well, I'm a Tank fan, and then I start talking about Tank, and then you bring up, I give you an example. If a brother says, hey, we're talking about Errol and Bud, and then I say, okay, that's cool. I say something true, lifting up Errol, but then you diminish Errol's accomplishments to raise up Bud. You can be fans of both, just like when we were speaking about Abdullah Mason and Devin Haney. I seen people in the chat saying it went from, they got upset because I was speaking about the conspiracy against Devin Haney and all of these father-son duos, Devin Haney and Bill Haney. So in the chat, they're saying, well, he's 30 years old and hasn't gotten his grown man's trim. I said, okay, well, we have a fool right here that doesn't even know what he's talking about. But check it, Drew. The truth that came out of my mouth bothered that brother so much that he didn't even think, let me go Google first and see how old Devin Haney is. He has so much hate in his heart, he went to typing before he could even go look up how old the brother is. Devin Haney just turned 26 this year. But that's the type of crap I'm talking about. He didn't even go see, well, let me go see what Devin Haney was doing when he was 19. He said, ain't he almost 30? I read it. Right. So I'm like, brother, I thought you all were Devin Haney fans as well. See, the truth always comes out, even when they're sitting there in that chat, man, and they're acting like, yeah, I'm with the crew whole time. They have hate for another brother that look just like them. It always comes out when you start speaking truth. It bothers them. That is a double-minded and a double-tongued person, and you all got to look out for people like that.
Can I ask a quick question, Drew?
Go ahead, brother.
So if we listen to what my brother's saying, it sounds good. As my grandmother said, might make you feel good. But my one question would be this: when it comes to Devin Haney, it comes to Kid Austin, these are two dudes who are clean cut. As anybody who works in the corporate world know, they got the baloney face. The reason they're not bigger is because people feel a certain way about their fathers, and I get it. Only thing I'm saying is, what happened to being like Uncle Al and sitting in the background? Because I'm telling you this, I guarantee you, there's no reason why Devin Haney shouldn't be a darling in Madison Avenue. The dude don't do nothing. I never see, other than, I guess, apparently get into it with some dude at the fair or some mishap with security. You never heard nothing about Devin. He should
Can
be
I answer that?
celebrating more than he is, man. And I think at some point he might have to say, hey, you know what, Dad? You gotta sit in the back. You gotta sit in the back. Guess what? It's different rules for blacks. If we haven't realized that, the sport of boxing tells you every day is different rules for blacks. Ryan can get up and say, I hate all blacks, I hate all Muslims, and get $1 million payday his next fight.
So,
My brother can never do that.
Bro, I'm so tired of them saying that Ostarine make you lose weight. That is an anabol it's a performance enhancing drug. It builds testosterone in your body.
Well,
It does help cut weight though from playing football.
Hold on.
It does help cut weight.
Let me address what you said. Here's my response to this. I think that Devin and Bill is doing correct, and they shouldn't bend or fold for anything. They should stand on their purpose, because nothing's going to change if we assimilate. This is why I was saying I got love for David Benavidez, and I feel bad that the industry has allowed Canelo to not do his job in his face. But the way, in my opinion, and I say this respectfully, he shouldn't have took that belt. He should have stood on his business. I don't want that vacated belt from Bivol. And why y'all giving me this belt they literally gave him the belt so he could leave Canelo alone. There, I said it. That's what they did. He should have been like, no, I'm standing on business. No, I want to beat this guy's ass. With each passing day, I'm going to remind you that this guy's a pussy. I don't care what he did. He's not going to do it to me. And he should have left that WBC. Now he's paying a fee for a belt that he didn't even win. Think about that. That's like, you remember back in the days, you used to get a goddamn credit card, but you had to pay to keep the credit card until the government came and changed the rules. Y'all don't go back that far. It was crazy. You understand? So I think the answer is not the answer is not assimilating to what people say. All right. I think Bill and Devin, if they can figure out how to do more, they should do more. Because F these guys. Look, Andre Ward was not Floyd Mayweather. They were both active at the same time, but they received the same level of hatred. So it don't matter. Just keep doing what you're doing. You dig what I'm saying? Bill ain't got to take a back seat. It don't matter. If Bill was standing back there quiet as fuck, they'd be like, why he standing there? You know what I'm saying? He don't do nothing. Why is he always in the camera? And he could be in the back, and all you see is his afro and shades on. They be, what's he doing there? Well, he's probably stealing his son's money. And they be marathon streams. Why is Bill Haney always standing there? He don't talk. I don't trust him. So we're damned if we do. We're damned if we don't. And it doesn't matter. So he should stay in the paint, and he should be more vocal. He should talk more shit. Because it ain't nothing that I ain't hear Henry Garcia say, what you call it from Philly. Well, they made him shut the fuck up, actually.
Angel Garcia.
They made him shut up for end-bombing. That's weird. They make him shut up for end-bombing, but Ron Garcia gets a megaphone. And we make excuses for him. You dig what I'm saying? So I got no problem. Let me read the super chat real quick. Brooklyn Born in that super chat, he said, why do people keep saying Bill need to take a back seat? Loma lost 3 times and no one says he should leave his dad. Bill is an excellent father and promoter. Exactly. You know, no one tells Lomachenko's father to go sit down somewhere. He's there. I see him all the time. He's there.
Brother Drew, could I speak to that question?
Sure. Go ahead, brother.
The question that Brother BVO said, you know, because I've heard this a few times. I've heard that, you know, there's hate that Kid Austin will get and Devin Haney will get and the Normans and these fathers, it's because of these fathers. I believe that that's all a cop-out. I believe that it's hypocrisy, and it is a shield to guard the real reason why they hate these fighters. Because boxing has had so many fathers who have showed despicable character, and they never were met with this type of discrimination towards these fighters. When Danny Garcia's father, Angel Garcia, acted a fool a few times, going all the way back to Zab Judah, when Zab Judah was about to fight him. There was no real media press when Zab Judah got up there and spoke about what was going on, spoke about the N-words, spoke about the riot that this man was about to start. When Tyson Fury's father broke the nose of a teenager.
That's right. That was a kid.
It got no coverage at all. This was a 17-year-old kid, another little kid that Tyson Fury's father busted his nose. And that man acts a fool at every press conference, and nobody has ever said anything about their fathers. This is nothing but a cop-out, and this is why people have to know the history of boxing. Anytime there has been a strong black figure in boxing, especially you have someone that's highly skilled with their black father behind them, they get this hate. And what our people need to see is what's going on. You are hopping on the same train that is governed by white supremacy that goes all the way back. It actually goes back before 1908, but as far as American professional boxing goes, it goes all the way back to Jack Johnson. So I don't want to hear this crap about Bill Haney needs to take a back seat. What has Bill Haney said or done for them to say that he is a bad influence or he needs to sit down? To be honest with you, Bill Haney is better than me, because if I had the same past as Bill Haney and what happened to my son happened, I don't know if I would have been able to rise above it the way Bill has done. They should be thankful that Bill Haney is a different man. They should be thankful that Bill Haney is a reformed man, because clearly what people don't understand is you play with the life of my child. And just to speak for Coach Hudson, if you would have played with my son's life like that, you would have met me on the street. All of us would have got busy in the street on site every time. So I don't want to hear nothing else about these fighters' fathers, that these black men who are standing up. You can never trust the enemy. This is the same enemy that says that black men are in the home. This is the same enemy that says we're not in the communities. And then when you have black men who are standing up, being a good example for their sons, we get this, oh, they need to shut up and sit down. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. So damn the enemy and what they got to say.
Man, Coach, my son in boxing, right? My son in boxing. And I said this yesterday. I've been like, man, I don't know how I would have reacted. I probably would have sat down in jail. I would have been in prison, man.
You wouldn't have did none of that. You wouldn't have did none of that. You know why you wouldn't have did none of that?
Why not?
Because this is the thing you got to remember. This is just for me talking to a brother who got the chance to play a little pro ball. We talking about millions of dollars here. Life-changing money. You're not going to get up there and act like no nigga. And you know what I mean? You're just not going to do it because there's too many millions on the line. You're not going to do it. What happened to Devin is unfortunate. But guess what? It happens all the time in professional boxing. This is not a new occurrence. But at the end of the day, when I say what I say about we got us, not saying, I mean, I like how people put the new word assimilate on it. I got to take a true issue with that, because at the end of the day, to make great change, you got to be within something. When you in an organization, because those are the same. Hold on, let me finish. Those are the same people who will call Louis Armstrong Uncle Tom, or they'll call Sammy Davis Uncle Tom. But Sammy Davis bring Frank Sinatra to the Dog on Million Man March. Just because people don't go about the way you think they should, everybody's not meant to be militant. Some dudes is cool, gonna make their money and gonna bring whoever you want to call to the table and make us all get rich. And I think it's just unfortunate that Bill, and I'm not picking on him, because everybody want to bring up his past. His past is his past. A lot of our fathers went to jail. My dad did 8 years in federal penitentiary. He from Cypress Projects in Brooklyn. He did a lot of bad stuff, but that doesn't define him. So you bringing that up is awful. The fact is this: now Bill is a legal businessman who's getting millions of dollars. I'm just saying, for the sake of a guy who could be the next Sugar Ray Leonard, he could. People don't believe me when I say this about Devin. The dude is that clean cut. I could see Devin doing a 7-Up commercial or a Pepsi commercial. I could see that. I'm telling you, it's sometimes step out the way and say, hey, this is my son. You're gonna get criticized no matter what, because there are different rules for blacks. I don't care what you say. The only place that's fair is where they raise pigs. I'm gonna tell you how much they hate blacks, and I hate to get off something like this. There's a book. Read the book, The Delectable Negro. They used to eat us. You think that you used to eat us? I know that's not a joke. That's not me being funny. They used to eat blacks. So you think they care? At the end of the day, stop trying to talk to an animal as if they're going to respect you and just do what makes you and your family money. and go on vacation, have good time, cash checks, have sex. That's what we like to do, baby. That's
brother. Are you saying I'm wrong for bringing up Bill Haney's past?
Yes.
Okay.
You sound like the crackers, man. You sound like a white guy.
Took up. All right, hold on. I heard what you said. So what I said was, Bill Haney is a better man than me, because if I had the past that he did, I would not have been able to rise above it how he did. Did you not hear that part? I said I was giving him kudos. Did you not hear when I said? Did you not hear when I said that he was a reformed man? Did you not hear that part?
But you brought it up. Just clicking to. They don't talk about.
Okay,
they don't talk about the FBI probes that
brother,
with
you
Bob
asked
Arum.
the question.
Bob Arum has a felony. People don't want to bring it up.
Brother, you asked the question. Why do these fathers get the flack that they get? And I spoke to how Bill Haney, I spoke to how his past, he is a reformed man. He did not do what they try to put on us. He did not do what he could have done going back to his old ways. So I was bigging up Bill Haney. Me bringing up what he did in the past and then saying that he's a reformed man is not an insult to him.
Well, I'll just say this. My dad, who's a former, who's an ex-con, said the worst thing people love to do is bring up my worst moment. I got to be reminded of my worst moment every time someone talks to me. If you don't see what I'm saying, I respect it. But I'm telling you from what my father told me, people love to bring up your worst moment. Bill was like, what, 19, 20 when that happened?
No, I understand that.
Now? I mean, come on, bro.
I understand that, but if they are bringing up your worst moment to bring you down, that's one thing. But if I'm talking to you about a trial and tribulation you've been through, that's completely different from what you're saying, brother.
I get what you're saying. I think we're saying the same things. I just look at it a little different way. No matter how it goes, all I'm saying is I've never seen a guy that's done all the right things get vilified like this. Floyd did bad stuff, so I get why Floyd hitting people with Tonka chunks. We know all that. You know about how Floyd got down. But Devin ain't did nothing, dude. That's the part. And it's funny. I'll be honest. I never used to like Devin until I seen what happened with Ryan.
Why didn't you like Devin?
Say it again. Why
didn't you like Devin?
I didn't like his fighting style. I don't like that hit not get hit stuff. I want Mexican come forward. I'm from Cleveland. We grew up watching Oscar De La Hoya, Tito Trinidad come forward. I want to see people come forward. That's my preference. That don't have to be nobody's preference. That's my preference. I like the Mexican style box. I like when they get in there and beat each other half to death because I feel I got my money's worth. That's just me.
So do you feel that because millions is on the line that's the reason why, like you say, people won't nigga out in that moment?
Man,
even if they feel they're cheated against.
Because I say this, I know some brothers in the project that hurt you for $1,500. So we talking about millions of dollars. Come on, bro. We're not gonna mess with the money. You remember that there was one of my favorite things I always think about. There was a time 50 Cent pulled up on Jay-Z, right? At he's about to slap him or whatever. And Jay said, "You think I'm gonna mess up the money?" And walked away. Read 50 Cent's book and tell you what he did about that. He never heard nobody say, "I'm not gonna mess up the money," and not so much the money, the opportunity to get true freedom. That's what all money is. Money is nothing more than a chance to get true freedom.
So,
not
brother,
have to get up and go to work.
I got you. Right now. Do you remember?
Hey, about my son, I'm gonna think about that later.
Do you remember the Riddick Bowe and Andrew Galata fight?
Yeah.
And you remember what happened, right?
Yeah.
So if millions was on the line, why did the black folks and the white folks tear that stadium up?
See, you can always find an isolated incident. I'm talking about that shouldn't be the norm. All I'm saying is this. This is my final point on this. Mm-hmm. I think it's sad that whenever it comes to a black person that's offended, we always got to take it to the loss of life. That's what we always got to take. And I think at the end of the day, sometimes we be kind of a little bit emotional. Sometimes it's best to step back, look at the situation and say, you know what? Is this worth it? Is this worth me hurting? Because at the end of the day, guess what? Ryan is the maid in Manhattan. He's like Jennifer Lopez. He's playing somebody white right now. So you can't really do much with the maid in Manhattan. That's what I call Ryan Garcia. When Jennifer Lopez was playing white back in the day, she forgot she was from the Bronx. She wasn't the same girl from Soundview. She changed herself and became the Maid of Manhattan. That's what Ryan is. He's a Mexican dude playing white. And you know how they do that, man. We can't do that. All I'm saying is Devin is getting too much money to be getting caught up in some BS. Sue him, get your money, go home. That's it.
So I
Hey,
do believe
he could have ended up like Michael Watson or one of them boys, man. Like
But did he?
that's life or death.
But did he? Ain't no, you got to stop putting on how
It don't
perfect.
matter.
Did he or not? If he didn't, let it go. That's the problem. We
That's
can't
like
hold
if
on to
somebody-
everything.
Let me say this. Let me step in here. Let me say this. I was on BFTV's panel a couple of weeks ago, and the bill popped up, of course, and I got into it with Black Lives, that fool ass nigga. I don't even know if he's a nigga because he don't turn his camera on, but whatever it is. And what I found is him and a lot of knuckle draggers. When I brought up how Devin had a collapse in judgment at that fair, right? What Black Lives said was, "Oh, what? When he threw the punch and nothing happened?" I'm like, "Whoa, hold on. I'm talking about it's unfortunate that he did that because he could have gotten himself in trouble. But you're celebrating the fact that he didn't hit the kid and knock him out. In other words, you would rather have seen him get in trouble. You see, these niggas want Devin to crash out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, these are the same niggas that celebrated when Tank Davis went to him when he was out with his friends eating food somewhere. You celebrate Tank being this super thug. We celebrate the ignorance is what I'm saying. You celebrate him being a super thug, but when I saw the video, I said, this is shameful. Why is he doing that? What are you doing? And then what I didn't want to see is those brothers rolling in the street. I'm like, he's a millionaire, and they can't make money. You can't fight for 50 million in Saudi, but you want to pull up on them and roll in the street? So you celebrate Tank for being ignorant, but then you tear Devin down for getting into it with some rabbit-ass fan at a goddamn fan. You know he didn't start that shit.
Right.
So what kind of brothers are y'all? Y'all are not my brother.
Right.
And that's why I started the show talking about that nigga KQKC. Because you saw it in real time. He done smiled in Brian Norman Sr.'s face, and as soon as he left, he started trash talking him. And Brian did the right thing by pulling back up on him and saying what he said. You see what I'm saying? Every brother ain't your brother. Malcolm X wasn't killed by the goddamn FBI. Brothers pulled the trigger. Violently. And this is how we do. We're diseased. We show unconditional love to a degree. I've been stabbed in my back right here on YouTube at least 5 times with niggas I thought I was cool with. I'm like, what the fuck happened? 5 dudes and 1 cracker. I'm dead serious. And you know they ain't living right because when you got a troll going back to them saying, oh, well, Drew said this and that, they know that their fingernails are so dirty underneath. They don't know who's talking about them. Instead of doing the right thing, like calling someone up on the phone and saying, hey, man, you know, what's the problem? Ain't no problem. I said something about you, go to the fucking live. One time I said, yeah, I said something about you, prove me wrong. You can't prove it. But they would rather have an assembly line of maniacs because it nets them dividends. Listen to what I'm saying. It nets them dividends. Rather than just being cool and calm and building a fucking community.
Right.
Too many fucking chiefs. Not enough Indians. Village brother, what you got?
Hey, what's good, Drew? Salute to the panel. You know, appreciate you having us on. Just real quick, a couple things. It's the entertainment, bro. At the end of the day, those types of people are just trying to make. It's exactly, they're trying to monetize our dysfunction. And by monetizing our that type of dysfunction, what does that do? It on the world stage, it makes us look crazy, and that entails gives people the right to give us less, disrespect us everywhere else. We don't respect us. Why should any other group? You get what I'm saying? Why should any other group respect us? So that's one thing on it in and of itself. And then the other thing, I don't know if y'all went over this already, but in regards to Brian Norman Jr., all these fathers.
Oh, we lost audio. Still there, brother? Damn it. Village brother, we lost audio.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So all these brothers that are coaches to their children. Okay, my understanding has always been they're not just coaches, but they're also promoters. Especially Bill. Bill is not just a coach for Devin, but he's also his promoter. He's there to talk for Devin. He's out there to get more eyes to Devin. Without Bill, I mean, I'm sure Devin can speak for himself and what have you, but his job is to fight. Bill's is to promote. Brian Norman Jr., all them, that's their point. That's what they're trying to do. So I don't see a reason why they need to be demonized for essentially promoting their seed. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It doesn't make sense to me because that's what they're there for. Because otherwise, who's going to do it? The promotional company? We already know how things are with Top Rank. We know how things are with Matchroom. We know how things are with even PBC, right? The only person who's going to be able to promote you is you, and the best person to do that would be your family. Now, like there have been families in the past. I think, Coach, you mentioned Angel Garcia, who will just who go crazy, who go off to the nth degree, who are ridiculous. But then there have been great examples like Sean Porter's father, Kenny Porter. Oh goodness, I wish he was still. Honestly, I really wish he was coaching somebody else, because that man would break it down, would have great insight, tell you how it is, and at the same time advocate for his son.
Yeah, exactly.
They talking about Kenny too.
Yeah. All these black fighters, at some point, I've read people say, "Oh, I wish they'd go away." It is frustrating. And to my point, because I'm about to get out of here. To my point, and history shows us, Andre Ward and Floyd Mayweather Jr. were around at the exact same time, and they are complete polar opposites. Floyd was loud, played the villain, was very ignorant and arrogant, and Andre Ward was a homebody, church-going person, a father, a husband, no trouble out in the street, and he went in there and got it done. All right, and they were hated equally at the same. I'm like, yo, what is your okay? I see you why you hate Floyd. He wants you to do that, but why the hell do you hate Andre Ward? Exactly. And I didn't get any. I didn't get a logical answer. I didn't get it. So I'm looking at this. I'm gonna do a meme, and I'm gonna say this and watch someone do it. If you take Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Andre Ward, nerd moment, y'all, get ready, and they do the fusion dance from Dragon Ball, they form Devin Haney.
I like that.
They form Devin Haney. Devin Haney's quiet, but he has that look. He dresses like all these young men dress, but he's quiet. All right? He's a father now. He's not talking. He's a gym rat. He's done everything right that you, as a boxing supporter, you're supposed to say. Hey, I want people to prove they're the best. He's actively pursued that, improved that, and his contemporaries that he didn't fight at 135 ducked him. No exceptions. They ducked him. What is the problem? He's black. Don't care if he's light skinned. He's black. Andre Ward said, hey, my daddy white. Nigga, I'm looking at your hair, and guess what? Your mama got the best of that deal. Because I got a couple of mixed friends. One dude kind of looks like Andre Ward with the hair. The other one looks what we call mulatto. Like he looks Puerto Rican, but he's black and white, but he got straight hair. You understand? So stop it. Okay.
Can I add something, Drew, before we get out of here?
Brother. Wait, hold on. Let me read the super chat real quick. Phyllis Nunez, my brother. He says, Miss Kenny Porter, man. Great coach, great person. He's a good dude. Go ahead, coach.
Hey, man, if anybody feels a way about me bringing up Bill's past, I didn't mean any insult to that. What I should have maybe pointed out was that is his son. And none of us knows how we will react if we feel our son's life is in danger or has been tried. Right. If you go back to when Floyd and Zab Judah fought, and Floyd was getting hit, I believe, low by Zab Judah, man, everybody and their mama jumped in that ring. And the point I was trying to make was that Bill, and maybe I'm not at the mature level as BVO might be or Bill Haney is. Coach Hudson, I am a former infantryman in the U.S. Army. I'm a former boxer and I'm a coach now. And I know how I am. And if I feel like somebody I loved is being attacked, I have to work on my impulse control, because what I'm saying is it's going to go down right then and right there. That's where I am in life right now. So, I applaud you brothers who are at that point where you can say, hey, we got, this amount of money on the line. So this, that, and the third. I ain't made it there yet, brother. I'm not perfect. But I was bigging up Bill for the way he has handled that situation. Control.
Yes, sir.
And to my brother, the Village brother, let me say this with all due respect. Black American fighters and black people in America, period. Even when we were doing nothing but excellence in this country, our people are still judged, still discriminated against, still attacked. So we're at a point now where no matter what we do, the validation of other groups and people don't matter anymore, because every group of people have ignorance in their community. You can look at any group of people and point out ignorance in their communities, but as a whole, they don't get disrespected like we do. So the days of assimilating, the days of looking for validation from those people, those days are over and long gone. And that's with all due respect. These fathers, the reason why they are hated, to keep it short, these fathers are hated the same reason why Deion Sanders is hated, the same way LeBron is hated, the same way LeVar Ball is hated. They don't want the strong black man in his son's life, bringing him up, because he is the only thing standing between white supremacy and the total domination of it. And that's my post, and I'm going to stand on that post until I'm properly relieved.
Yeah,
that's
Coach,
all I got, brother.
You ain't got to understand. We ain't got to explain it. I understood exactly what you meant. I understood exactly what you. I knew where you was going. I knew exactly where you was going, and it's a daily struggle, because it's one thing if it's your product that you're protecting, but it's another thing when that product is your son. That's different, bro.
Yes, sir.
And no one can say what they would do when they're in the mix of something.
Absolutely.
There's something called adrenaline. You might not know how fast you can run. Like I'm telling you. I was coming from my aunt's house back in the day, and I don't know what was going on, but back in the 80s in the Bronx, there was a lot of stray dogs running around. A lot of them. I don't know what the fuck was going on, but I was walking from my aunt's house, and these pit bulls came around the corner. I said, oh shit. And I started walking, and all I heard was a nail scratch, and they chased me. Guess what? I left. Usain Bolt couldn't have outran me that moment. I hit Hammersley Hill over here in the valley. Every stride I took was like a city block. And I turned over my shoulder, they just gave up. I was gone.
Right.
Gone. Didn't know I could do that, but I did it. In other words, y'all don't know how you're going to behave until you're in the mix. There's a lot of athletes that crash out.
Right.
All right, there's an athlete. Didn't we have a boxer that just killed his side piece because she was pregnant with his baby? Like 2 years ago.
Drew.
Yeah.
Cain Velasquez. Velasquez.
Yes, the MMA fighter. I remember him.
Pray for that brother, because I couldn't be what he ended up doing. I'm sorry. That would have been me.
Yes.
That would have been me.
That's what I'm saying.
No, Cain. Just a quick story. Cain, a young girl was violated in his family. And he didn't call the police. He wouldn't handle business.
Yep.
And he got arrested. And he's in jail right now. And free that man.
Yeah.
Free that man, because he was right. When I read what was done, do y'all know the bodybuilder Victor Martinez? Pro bodybuilder. He's Dominican. Yo, man. His sister was murdered, man. He had a stalker right here in Manhattan, I believe. You can read about it. I think it was in Manhattan. Stalker got a hold of his sister, murdered her, wrapped her up in a bag, and like put her in the roof in the office somewhere. Good. I mean, just heinous stuff. And listen, man, when I read that, I said, you know what? Couldn't be me. They'd have had to lock that dude up to protect him, because hell hath no fury. Y'all heard it before. But hell hath no fury. He'd have had to coach, he'd have had to call you, the infantry.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you. You couldn't allow me in the court building or nothing, because he's getting got, especially with the men in my family. Oh, no. He'd have had to look over his shoulder. And realistically, brothers, Ryan Garcia should be scared to leave the house.
I'm telling you.
That right there.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't understand you niggas today. I don't understand you. If you were not black and you were caught saying something racist or perceived as racist, you had to get some family members of yours to straighten it out before you even left the crib out here. We had one situation out here, and that dude was scared to leave the crib because someone thought he said something crazy. He was like, "Yeah, bring your ass outside." He was like, "Nope." His mama had to come out and straighten it out.
Shoot, thought I was tripping.
Man, listen, nah. I know exactly what type of time. And Bill has shown great restraint, because there is millions of dollars on the line, which is why I said, Devin had a collapse in discipline at the fair that day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when I call it a collapse in discipline, and I'm glad it worked out for him, all these other niggas saying, "Oh, well, he's pillow fisting. Why he ain't knock him out?" What? Because you want him in jail. That's why. Stupid ass.
Yep. You want
you niggas are the ops. And all you niggas that wanted Tank to put hands on Devin. You hate Devin, and you low-key hate yourself, because Tank would have went right to jail. Stupid ass. Y'all niggas are dumb. I don't see country singers going through this. I never saw Jerry Cooney go through this. Name the white fighter that's gone through this. You can't think of one. I can think of two Mexicans. Every time Barrera and Maradas got with each other, they were throwing hands with no gloves. They genuinely didn't like each other.
Getting down.
But we don't know. We don't talk about that. Assholes. Well, I'm going to land the plane right there. I got to run, y'all. Man, salute to y'all, man. Much love and appreciation. Yo, Coach, I'm going to DM you today.
All right. That's a bet.
Yes, sir. Village, brother, man. Salute to you, good brother. Thank you as always.
No problem, brother. Y'all have a good one.
Peace.
Man, salute to everybody in the Venmo, the Zelle, the Cash App, the Super Chat. Look, man. We all we got. We got to stay disciplined. We got to stay blessed. We got to support our own. And, man, listen. Oh, so much to say in such little time, man. But I love y'all. And I want y'all to be safe and be aware of your surroundings. And salute to Turki out of Sheik. He's destroying the old way of boxing. The jury's still out. He still may mess up and have us talking about him just as well. But just know this. We hold everybody accountable. And right now, he's doing right by me. All right? And with that being said.
Okay, have a crappy weekend. Hope your house burns down.
Move!
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.